Hey guys, alright, so today we're doing something new. We're doing more of a podcast setting, and today we're discussing a topic that is a bit close to home for all of us. Like, we're discussing youth crime, youth violence, knife crime, all of that jazz. Now, obviously, it's close to home because we live in Croydon, which some of you may know is a very nice area. So, let's just go straight into it.
What do you mean we live in Croydon?
This guy just based all on
That's what I'm saying.
based all in Croydon. Like, we don't live in London.
Didn't you hear what the commentator said?
Sanchez
from South London.
yeah.
You want to mention our boys on down there?
Yeah.
We've just got a bad rep. It's like anyone, wherever I'm gone,
Croydon is
it's like, where do you live?
Oh,
I have to say South London first, and hope that they don't ask specifics. Then I'll be like, Croydon. Oh.
with the trams.
Yeah.
That's all they hear, bro.
With trams.
Literally, man.
There was a time that when a girl asked me where I was from, I said Croydon. She said, that area's bad. Yeah.
People don't rate Southeast in general. They just see it as it's just done up, man.
But like, living there, what do you think of it? Like, for me, it's normal. Like, there's nothing there that's out of place. It's just an area.
Man, I don't live in Croydon, but just being in Croydon, just knowing all the things that
Secondary,
happened in the past. It's all about literally secondary school, going Croydon every time, bro. It's just a mess, man. The McDonald's there as well. There's always beef there, always feds there all the time. Like, you just know when you go into Croydon, it's just hot. Like, there's just things about to happen. That's the bad part. Right?
Yeah, when you live there, it is normal though, and with that, I think we can segue into the actual topic of. I'd say the first question I'd ask is not really question, but the normalization of knife crime.
Yeah.
Basically, like how's it kind of affected your mentals and how you look at it in general?
If I'm being honest, it doesn't faze me. Like, when I hear that someone's been stabbed, unless I know them, it really doesn't faze me. Like, it's become a normal thing, like someone tripping over.
Yeah.
It's pretty the same equivalent.
Well,
For me, even if I not necessarily know them, but if I've like seen them, they're close, even then,
it hits
That's what it is.
it hits a bit, but not as much as it should do.
Yeah.
not as much as it should.
It's like a random generator. It's smart who's next.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
so crazy and mad insensitive. I know, but like,
It literally is.
it's a scoreboard, bro. Like,
Carol.
it's literally a matter of who's next. You see one person this day, they're literally gone the next. In the
Literally.
name of
Do you know what? One thing I always ask myself, so whenever I hear about this person got stabbed, the first thought I think is, cool, were they innocent, but why did they get stabbed? Because for me, I still kind of believe that, I mean, a lot of people say this isn't true, but I believe that if you've carried yourself in a way that doesn't, make people look at you as someone who's bad or someone who's about that life, then most of the time you shouldn't really get into trouble. But I do hear sometimes that random people who are innocent get stabbed for no reason at all. But I'm always thinking, cool, to you might not know what they've been doing, in covers and spare time. Maybe they're chilling with the wrong people, wrong friends. Like, having the wrong friends sometimes will get you stabbed. They just think you're just part of them regardless. So do you lot think people who are actually 100% innocent get stabbed in a race?
Yeah.
I think so.
Literally not involved at all. They just see you, they just feel like,
If you're in
Wrong
Croydon,
place, wrong time.
everywhere in Croydon is wrong place, wrong time.
No, I agree to a certain extent, but I think it also depends where you live. So say like where we lived, right? I think there is still some sort of like code of like, they're not just gonna go around to some random person unless they've actually done something, or those gang members or whatever they are actually know you from like an opposite postcode or area. Like, they're not just gonna be randomly like. Obviously, there are some people that are a bit
tapped in it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if it's just an older generation thing. Unless you've disrespected them, you're not just gonna get like
Not random. But to be fair, the closest experience I've had to that is like, cool, this is around my side, not even Croydon. Obviously, some guy pulled up on me and my boy now, and he had like a long thing on him basically in his trousers. But then he was like, who are you? Da 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 da. So obviously, in that sense, he thought we were somebody else. So again, it's kind of like a mistaken identity.
That's true.
But the good part about that is he didn't just instantly just jerk basically without checking. He basically checked first. Then he was like, oh no, you're not whoever he's trying to.
Even with that being said, that's a perfect example of when an innocent person can get stabbed.
Literally.
Because even though your like communication with him, kind of clarified who you were per se, that could have been anyone else. And if you respond with like a little bit more attitude, like, what do you mean where I'm from? Where are you from? you're an innocent person when you're getting stabbed at the end of the day. So
bro.
that's why I feel like whether you're innocent, whether you're affiliated, bro, anyone can get it. It's really the grace. It's literally the grace which will allow you keep your head forward. Keep your earphones at a decent volume so you hear what's around you.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. Like, I think it's very tough. Like, going uni as well and like seeing the difference in living from when I'm in ends compared to uni. Bro, I can leave my house at uni at any time.
Literally.
Comfy.
So
Like, I walk on the roads. I can skip. I can do anything, bro. Knowing, like, I'm calm. Nothing's gonna happen.
The thing is, it's kind of mad that we've had to develop those type of street smarts.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be vigilant when you're on the street.
It's just
And that's something that
natural.
it shouldn't be normal. And the reason why it shouldn't be normal is because we've come to these different areas and it's not normal for that to be a thing. But
I think we should look at the root. What is it about Croydon or like South per se? Like, let's try to look at the core.
I mean,
What is it?
I think everyone just
I have
on
a
edge.
direct
Like,
answer.
everyone just
It's
on
crazy
edge.
how many
Everyone
black
just
guys-
thinking.
I have a direct answer.
It's just looking at people the wrong way.
It's
and
too
not-
many black people.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
even
as
trying
well,
to. I'm not even trying
Everyone thinks, yeah.
No, we're being
let's-
real.
let's
We're
hear
being real. We're being
Let me
real.
hear you out.
We've grown up seeing that we have to be these aggressive guys that don't take disrespect from no one.
Yeah,
Someone disrespects you, you have to show them to not. And when you're in a group of too many like-minded people, you're going to clash. And that's what happens. We're in an area when everyone's so like-minded. So the ones that are not like-minded, they're so like highlighted. You can see them so clearly, and they're hated. Like, if you see someone that looks and dresses nicely, a GM's probably gonna G-check you just because you look different. But if you look like the norm, they're just gonna beef each other until we're always extinguished.
Hold on, let's take a step back because you said something important. You said, like, we're taught to, not take disrespect. So, who's the teacher? Who's teaching us these things?
School. I think mainly school. Secondary school, that's what it's about.
Probably
if someone
parents.
ever looks at you the wrong
That's what
I think
parents
parents.
teach you not to be
I think-
disrespected.
I think parents and
Is it?
media. I think parents and media.
I don't think parents.
I think
think a lot of
do you
media
know?
as
Do you know? Why I agree but disagree with you? I'd say it is black people, but not because they're black.
Not because they're black.
I think
no,
it's
no.
more so like an economic thing, like
You're all
your
just.
bracket, like your
That's
tax,
what I'm saying.
like tax brackets and stuff.
You're not
like
because
that.
we're black. We're gonna kill each other.
Yeah. And that probably stems back to like hundreds of years,
Word.
all that slavery.
Wait, I don't understand the parents bit because I don't think parents teach us to be unbalanced.
No, because when parents come to this country, they have to fend for themselves.
100%.
So when their kid that looks like them and is an immigrant and is in an area that's not affluent, especially because they weren't able to afford that affluent type of lifestyle, then they have to teach their kids as well, like
To fend for yourself, to fight
you have to
everything
fend for
you have.
yourself. It depends. I think it also depends what type of parents, because I feel like different immigrants, they come from different cultures, right? So like,
100%.
maybe like Asian parents, they're more focused on education
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Maybe it might be. I think it's mostly a thing of culture and money, but I think that's where it differs. I think that's where.
So how do we get from fending for ourselves, survive the fittest, kind of like working hard? How have we taken that into killing each other? Like, I do understand and I partially see the root in regards to us having to kind of be ruthless because of the struggles of our parents and them kind of like informing us that this world isn't nice, we gotta work hard to do everything, but what's that work gotta do with taking another man's life?
I think
That's
it's just
where pride
competition or
steps in.
something.
No,
So
the
parents
reason I
don't
say parents is because some parents teach stuff that can lead on to this. It may start off
Yeah,
small.
yeah.
Like when I was younger, I was
Yeah.
taught if someone punches me, you punch them back harder so they know not to do it again.
Yeah, Gara, same.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told someone hits you,
I
hit
was
them
never
back.
taught
You
that.
don't just
I
get
know,
hit.
for me it's like someone punches you.
You turn the other cheek.
Yeah,
No, I'm not told to hit them
like,
back.
hitting them back doesn't prove anything.
My mum did not want to see me in the police station.
Yeah, mum was always
She
just
was
like,
told
stay out of
to
trouble,
in
fam.
education.
Hit that boy back.
Yeah.
That's
But
it.
obviously, if you're taught like principles like that from a young age,
Yeah.
as you grow up,
Yeah.
they tend to become a bit more extreme.
Yeah.
So
I can see
agree
that
with
now.
and
I
then
just didn't think it happened.
I think to kind of answer source question in regards to how parents are involved, I don't think that they're the direct cause. I think they sow a seed,
yeah,
and it's kind of within us, and then our environment kind of waters that
Just
seed,
100%.
and then it grows more and more. Because if you think about it, we spend more time in school than we do at home.
Yeah.
So
I think
if like
school does a
if
lot more.
every like student has that same seed and that same understanding, we're just gonna be feeding each other, and it's gonna be growing more and more from year 11 going all the way down to the year 7s. But when we was in year 7, we looked at the 11s. All we saw was these big desk guys just scrapping each other for the back. £1 scrambles, sit on the back of the bus. It's a fight. Everything.
Becomes part of your life.
So even when we got to 11, bro, I felt the need to punch up the year 7.
You see year 7 kicking the ball, you boot that, you take that and you boot that because it happened to you. Like it happened to me. I have to pass it on.
I also think it's like not a translation thing in terms of like language, but how it translates to different like upbringings. Because you know how I was talking about our parents, right?
Yeah.
And they come with the mindset of fend for yourself. Theirs is more literal. Like they genuinely had to fend for themselves when they're back at home. But then now we come to this country and they tell the kids, fend for yourselves. But I think it's also like mixed in with this whole fast lifestyle, like get money quick, stuff like that, like fraud and all this stuff.
Fend for your postcode.
Stuff like that. So then you kind of, without really realizing, you kind of get yourself into that lifestyle. And then when you get yourself into that lifestyle, from what I've heard from like people that have used to be in that type of lifestyle, it's hard to get out. And it's almost like a package. It comes with other things. If you want to make money fast, that means you have to scam certain people. If you're going to scam certain people, you're going to be disrespectful and you're going to make enemies. And with that, you're going to have to fend for yourself.
And make statements and make crime, and then they're now trying to get revenge and
and then it just doesn't stop. It genuinely just keeps going, man. It's bad though, because where does it continue? Like, how does it stop? That's the question. Like,
I think that kind of that's up to people like us. Like,
Just hard to answer that.
What are we gonna do different to our parents in regards to the upbringing of our kids? Because
I don't feel like me personally, I don't think my parents gave me the worst advice coming to like that. They told me what to expect. They told me what was to come, but they kind of gave me the responsibility to deal with the information that they've given me. So, like, with that knowledge and you understanding how things were for you growing up, what difference are we gonna try to infiltrate like in our children and the generation which is to come after us? Because our generation we're finished.
I think it's tough, man. Because for me, obviously parents, but I just feel like it's more 20% parents, 80% school. Because at the end of the day, your parents can give you the. Like, I know that I've seen this happen so many times. Your parents can give you the best advice, talk you down, even flog you 1,000 times. You go to school, everything they said just goes out of your head. Because your boys will influence you more than your parents will. You're gonna go to school. You're gonna be there for like 8 hours or whatever, how long it is. Do whatever nonsense. Go home. You're gonna transfer that attitude that you got from school to your parents. Then you have family issues, you have school issues, you get excluded.
With that, I would say that to answer Elliot's question, the best way to raise your kid is to raise them to be independent. Because if you raise them in a way that they're so easily influenced by friends and the people around them, then they're going to become like the people around them.
I feel like you can do that to a certain extent, but kids are still kids. They're still going to be.
That's why it's a hard thing to answer.
They're still going to be able to be manipulated in ways that they don't think, like they don't know. And I think that even carries on to now, like. Stuff like politics, the way certain people swing in terms of like political stuff, like.
Now that's true, but then the core values they stick. Because look at us, we all grew up in the same environment in secondary school, but we didn't come out stabbing people or joining gangs.
Maybe being in
because
good
the core
school
values were there that kept us away from it.
That's true.
Maybe the school you go to, because I know some schools are, I guess, good, and you know there's some schools that are actually done out. Everyone knows schools that are done out. Like most of the kids are just bad. And everything. Of course, it's tough to kind of move your kids around and stuff. But I'm pretty sure there's some schools that are actually just like calm, chilled, and all that. Obviously, you have to factor in education, the area as well. Like most schools in Croydon are done out here as well. So that's also another thing. So if you're gonna take your kid there, just be ready for a ton of influence and them just having the wisdom to deter away from that. But that's very hard. Like, that's almost like taking a gamble that your kid is gonna actually handle it.
And with Croydon as well, because it's so saturated with different schools. Croydon is so small but big.
Yeah.
Like from West Croydon,
it's so compact.
To Heath, and then like Southern was like right next to it, and then like there are so many areas within our area, and there's so many schools within our on our way to school we'll come across about 5 different schools. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that
every school knows each other's school.
Right.
Every school just knows all the schools and people know each other, and it's like just a whole community after that.
Even the schools be.
I was about to say that as well. It's kind of weird that the stuff that we've seen on the streets, it kind of like translates into school, right? You'd think that stuff like, say, sports, there'll be like healthy rivalry. People then will be like, we hate your school, like I'm not gonna swear, but like they'll be like, F this school, like blah blah blah, like they're ops or something like that.
It's serious about it.
Yeah, they came to the name or something like that. It's weird because a lot of the time I'd see it, and these people haven't experienced what we've experienced as well in terms of the gang crime, but it's just something that they know happens, and then they think that it's just funny, and then they indulge in that type of behavior.
That's true.
Like, it's not right. I don't know how it happens like that though.
I do feel like we don't have enough good representatives. Like, I'll be real. Like, that's why I said media. When I was growing up, I saw people like Ace from Paid in Full, and I'm like, I want to be like that. There was no black person per se. If it's just going to go into race, but there was not even just black. There was no one in the area that I'd think, yeah, that's someone that's doing well for themselves. Like, I'm trying to go that high. And in the home, for me personally, like, you don't really have that father figure, so you're seeing another man who's making money, living well, they're wearing Gucci, they're wearing Prada, they look nice, they have girls, you're like, I want to be like that. But then you're seeing everyone else is trying to be like that too, so you're all chasing a false dream. And when you get there, you're like, oh, this isn't what I signed up for, but now you're stuck. And I think that's what happens.
You know what, on that note, yeah, now I think what actually is the problem, or the people that now set that, or, you know, try to actually set the trend or whatever, of, you know, comes to the people who make music, because that's when people now want to be like them, because they're making the money, probably, you know, they probably have more money than people's parents and stuff. Then it's like, cool, let's go into that now. Everyone wants to start making music, but we all know what that music has to do with. Music has to do with, you know, cussing other ops and girls and
the thing about that,
I got so much to say about
that. The thing about music is that
music was a madness.
The music is a madness, and like promotes is a madness. But the people that are rapping it, when they do get into music and when they begin to blow, they actually stop. Music can take people off the streets. That's one benefit.
That's what I've always noticed. But obviously, the younger people before they blew up, are now carrying on the nonsense they were saying.
I think you should look over it, because you're saying just because they left the street, but they left the street to bring 1,000 more people into the street that they left. Because they left to then speak about the life that they lived, and then they're bringing 1,000 more kids into the life that they lived. So they're in a penthouse going, you come down to the street and I'm going to watch you from my penthouse and talk about what it was like in the streets. And maybe one day you'll get to me if you follow after my example.
But is that his fault? Because if we look if we look at the beginning of the conversation, we spoke about what our parents taught us, fend for ourselves, survive the fittest. That's exactly what
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what he's done.
Can you blame him?
But that's what I'm saying. We need more people like us that show that there's actually another way. There's actually another way.
But that's the thing. Like, the main ways that are in, I say, like South London and in London in general, is football or music. Football or music.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying do it in the right way.
In finance and
it takes longer though.
It takes longer.
People don't want to do the long way. People want
that's what I was saying about
the want fame as well.
It's true.
Doing it the calm way, you don't get famous. You're there studying.
They don't want the quick way. They don't see the fruit of it. They don't want the long way, so they don't see the fruit of it.
That's what I was saying.
You've been working, and the people that are actually smart and making money in privates, they keep it in private.
They don't say.
They're not saying anything. So I could walk past you in the street. You could be a billionaire. But because you're not wearing Gucci, I'll never know. So I think I would never want to be like you. But I see T-Show who makes £2 makes £2 a week, but he has Gucci, and I think I want to be like T-Show.
I think the thing is, especially with like music and football, they have such like
power,
big outreaches. Yeah. Like if you're gonna influence, if there's like a black lawyer, he probably doesn't have a large following. He's probably not on live TV and stuff like that. Whereas music, you're seeing it. People, all they have to do is pay. They're on GRM Daily.
True.
All they have to do is like, not all they have to do, but once they become football players, they're on TV.
You don't have to answer that. It's just
away. Yeah.
And I feel like, what it is, I feel like, I actually think we have enough black people in good professional positions. Not only that, because even that's us relying on someone else. True. I don't think they actually want to do the nitty gritty stuff, because realistically, they have to get to their communities first. I personally I can't see like a lawyer, like a full-time lawyer, like doing community work to try and inspire young lawyers. That just doesn't happen. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'll see a rapper come to school. I'll see footballers. I'll see Rashford doing all his community work.
Look at him,
free school meals, all of that. So what can you expect? And also, what else I was gonna say? Why I only blame music partially is because I view music the same way I view like a film or a movie. Because it's all a facade. It's all an act, essentially. Unless it is real, but you never actually know. Same with films. You don't know if it's based on a true story or it's not. So surely you're foolish to now believe what you've heard and seen.
But has that always been your perspective?
From when?
From young, when you were in year 7, were you always thinking, yeah, that's a facade?
Of course not. But that's
Because once you've come out and you've seen the bigger picture
but my thing is, how do I explain this? I got into music on my own accord.
True.
I was watching and listening for my own accord, so it's literally based on my own understanding. And that's because no one was really guiding me in regards to what I'm listening to. It's just music. It's not that deep.
Just whatever vibes.
Without knowing what I'm actually intaking and the message I'm getting from it. So now, like, my question kind of is, what are you guys gonna now monitor what your children are listening to, what they're watching? Are you just gonna let them be free to do whatever?
I think parents should do that more.
Yeah,
because I feel like nowadays it just doesn't happen. Like, you just give your child a phone and
just vibes.
But I don't
have to do that though.
And then you start thinking that
you have to do that without causing issues at home.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like monitor every single thing they do. But I'm saying like if you give your child, like, I know now more than ever children are having phones like young ages, like they're addicted to iPads and games and stuff like that. And I feel like maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're going to do that, you need to manage it well.
So, you know what? I can't really blame our parents for our generation, because I feel like they don't even know the song. They don't even know what we're listening to.
We're just
obviously we know now, but they don't know. But we know that these songs are done out here. So maybe obviously for our generation, if when we're older and being parents, it makes sense. But for them, they don't know these songs.
The thing about music that's different, like, I think it depends on the person. Because I was actually taught, don't focus on the lyrics, focus on the beat. And that's what drove me throughout all the music that I liked. I would always focus on the beat. Like, even if I knew the lyrics, they didn't mean anything. Like Kendrick Lamar, Swimming Pools. I clocked recently that's talking about alcohol. I know almost every lyric to that song, and I didn't clock that you're speaking about alcohol. Like, I think it depends on the person, because not everyone actually takes it in the way that everyone assumes they take it in.
Yeah. Some people it's the visuals, some people it's the lyrics, some people it's the beat.
It's true. Everyone's different.
For me, it was mostly just as long as there's a good flow on top of a good beat.
Let's get the chorus.
Then it's just
everyone cares about, really.
Yeah, that as well, man.
But I'm telling you, words stick in your mind.
100%.
No, words stick.
Like, if I was having a bad day and I put in some LD, I'll be real. That day's gonna go from bad to worse. Like, it's very effective. It's very effective.
It gets the job done.
100%.
Everything just feels
different.
You're ready. If anything, you're ready.
It's a cut anyone straight. It's crazy.
Oh man, music is interesting.
But besides from the music though, I was also thinking. So the situation I mentioned earlier, the two situations I've been in recent, well not really recent. One thing that kind of deterred me from getting stabbed or causing any chaos is that girls were there. I don't know if it's just me, but when girls are there, I don't know if it affects how the man violence act, but it always seems like they're more, not like they're more chilled, but they don't just go straight to dinner Mazzolini. It's just me.
That's just you, bro.
Because I've had girls in both situations.
Men act up.
And it's like,
men act up.
I don't know if they do a madness, but for me it's like they kind of care that there's not witnesses. I don't know. It's like the girls are there screaming, causing the most noise. It's like, maybe it does something for them. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not really on violence, so obviously
I've noticed it's always made it worse, man. It's like the guys think, I'm a bad guy, and they're screaming, I'm that guy.
It depends on the backstory. True. If there was a violation in front of girls,
it's
finished. But it was a film that
they're talking about getting G-checked.
If you're getting G-checked,
and girls may dim it down.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, in terms of getting G-checked,
because like I've seen a couple, but like one of the times that I saw there was girls there, but because it was a disrespect, it made it worse. So like it was a simple little nothing major, like maybe a bump of the shoulders. Now they're swinging machetes at each other just because this girl said, "No, stop!"
Literally, from my perspective, when it comes to like beef between males, girls escalate. Girls, they shouldn't be there. They just make it work. They make it work.
He's not like that. He's not like that.
That's what they're saying. He's not like that.
Just show on, you know, let's stop.
Nah, I think that's true. But I've also got another question that kind of relates to people outside of the actual conflict, right? Like for us that weren't in it, weren't involved, but we witnessed it and we saw stuff and we've experienced stuff. Like, how can other people that have been in the same position kind of change that? Because I feel like a lot of the emphasis has been put on those those that are doing the crime should stop or should change themselves. But I feel like other people that are witnessing or other people that know about it, they could have they can make a difference.
Are you encouraging people to start snitching?
No. This is a good thing, right? Because I was watching something back chat and they were talking about knife crime and snitch culture.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we're not about that life. We're not in that life. No. Okay. We are civilians. I'm being serious. We are actually civilians. You want to be a footballer. Yeah. You want to make money. Start your business. You're doing investment YouTube videos. I'm a student. Ideally, we're gonna be doing 9 to 5s, or we're gonna be entrepreneurs. Yeah. 9 to 5. I'm not in the gang life. I'm not buying knives. I'm not buying cigarettes. I'm not doing cigarettes.
You're really a civilian.
What I'm trying to say is that you can't. I don't get when you're a civilian, but you're trying to live by the rules of the streets.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense. Okay. If you're part of the streets, people like to.
I promise you. The moment you open your mouth, you've now gone against the streets. Do you know what I'm saying? Once you're against them,
you're in a bit of trouble.
You're in it.
But I think it's also a thing of like your morals as well. How you gonna sleep at night? Like, do you when you're on your deathbed? Do you think you regret anything?
Very comfortable.
Bro,
and the thing is, no. That's a good thing. Because think about it. That is crazy.
It is.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Like, when I was like maybe 13, I live the heart of Croydon. I live at the, that's where the niggas die.
That's not funny. That's not funny. You shouldn't be laughing at that. I can't lie.
So I used to kick ball with some olders.
Yeah.
And I'm chilling in my front room, no blinds, no curtain. The one time, so my window is open. I see the guy outside my gaff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my guy. He looks a bit worried. He's swinging the chain like this. I'm like, why are you swinging the chain outside my gaff? He's smacking against my doorpost. I'm like, oh, is he coming to kill me? What's this? Then I see a youth run, fly him in his chest. I was like, more youths come. Long story short, he gets stabbed outside my gaff. I am a witness. I have witnessed this crime. I'm like, should I call the police?
You wanna say this on YouTube?
And I was there. I'm like, should I call the police? I'm like,
I witnessed someone got beaten up outside my house as well.
Yeah.
For no reason. He just got ganged up, beaten up. He was there, and I just didn't know what to do.
You done that? You saw a guy getting beaten up and you walked off.
You see what I mean? It's so normal. You're like, I cannot snitch.
No, that's.
Maybe not
But
snitch.
I think that's my mindset back then, though.
You didn't snitch so long ago.
3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Was it?
But has your mindset changed? Be honest with yourself.
11. That's you. That's
When was you 13?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just a quiet guy.
But has your mindset changed? I don't talk. I have no reason to say
anything.
But has your mindset changed? Because you're saying that was years ago. Has your mindset, honestly, if we went outside right now, you saw you get beaten up, would you say something?
Most I would do is ask if
Try and
it's
stop.
okay.
Yeah, try and stop it. But would you go?
I'm trying to stop it.
What?
I'll try to stop it.
No. Stop it.
I'm not.
Bad idea getting involved.
No.
That's how people.
I think you can't do that.
Because you don't know what the beef's about.
Come on, we didn't say
Bro,
four.
you know what I'm saying?
Bro, listen.
If I'm scrapping someone and a civilian tries to get involved, like back then, and I'm just seeing red, bro. You're up as well.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
You know what?
no,
He doesn't think you're civilian. He just think maybe
Yeah.
you're
You're
back in
coming back, you're
the
going
Like
there.
this is how I see it. I'd rather be a witness than in the heat.
Yes.
You're getting directly
for no
into
reason.
No, but I'm saying I would rather be in the heat and break it up. And fair enough, I may culture bang. Are you going to then call the police? After it's said and done, he's on the floor. On the floor.
If
They need witnesses
if that
and
guy
stuff,
sees you another day, then what? That's what it gets.
But you're gonna call the police?
Yeah, but think about yourself and you get
Yes,
involved.
after.
Oh yeah. Are you talking about afterwards?
Yes,
No,
after.
I would just me.
I'm not lying.
You're gonna
I'm
leave
not
it
gonna
there
do
now.
anything, man.
But
Like,
I
don't
can't
do
lie.
much.
I think it's more.
I'll tell someone else to call the police.
Yeah,
for
maybe
it.
that.
I think it's more heartless, than to be there from the start. Watch.
And I'm not gonna
Wait
watch
for
you
him to be
myself.
done. The guy's car. Hey, bro, you good? That is heartless.
No,
I get what you mean.
Do you
bro.
know what
That's
I
heartless.
don't?
You can't help him
I
if
know
you're
myself,
stabbed.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be the one.
No,
helping
should not
yourself.
involved. If no, she was, I'm
How do you
running.
know
He's
it's
fine.
involved?
No,
How do you know it's involved?
Look, remember, this is how I look at it.
You're not involved in it.
I'd rather be a coward than a fool. I'd rather not get
I
involved
hear that.
and then help them afterwards when I have the ability to, than be
Get involved
stupid
and you
enough
won't get
to
beaten.
get in there and be potentially injured and not be able to hurt the person's
Yeah,
arm.
I get what you're saying.
That's true.
I get what you're saying, but I think it's foolish to.
And I think
because
ahead,
you're saying it's
man.
foolish to go inside, but it can also be foolish to leave him because that guy could die. He could die right there. And that's actually
So tell me this then: if he's
But you
in
can
danger,
prevent it.
if he's in danger of death, how do you know you're not in danger of death as well?
because if there's two, it's
If
better
there's
than one.
two, it decreases the chances
It
of one.
I'm not saying I'm not gonna get hurt, but he at that point 4v1. It's pretty much 100% chance if they want to kill him, he's going to die. At least with 2, say they had known that there's Baron, there is a chance it can be stopped.
Think
There's
about it
a
this
slight
way:
chance.
if it's your son, would you rather someone run
Help.
and stop him, or wait till he gets
Wait till he's
beaten
done,
up
and then go,
call
oh, let me
for
go
the-
No,
help.
but I think that's going to be different.
What one would you prefer?
No, because if it's my own
If
son,
it's
Answer.
if it's my son,
No, answer first.
no, obviously if it's my son, I'm going to
No,
want
not you,
instant help.
not you, and a stranger.
No, just
is
an
there
example,
watching.
think about
Yeah,
that.
like a
Yeah,
stranger.
obviously, no, but that's what I'm saying. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm going to want the stranger
So
to
why
help.
wouldn't you expect that
But
from
that's,
someone
yeah,
else?
that's what I'm saying though, because when it's something personal, I'm void of logic. I'd rather my own than someone else. But in a general sense,
That's
right?
selfish.
That comes back
Yeah,
to survival
I know
of the
that.
fittest.
I know that. But that's what I'm
But
saying.
that's the honest truth.
That's
Exactly.
just
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Fair enough.
But what I'm
So what
saying
you
is,
basically go in and help the person, basically.
Personally, I would.
I wouldn't.
Even
But
if
I-
it's a stranger.
No,
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
I understand
a
what I'm not
stranger
saying.
getting
No,
packed in.
Ramon's a good Samaritan. Yeah, I understand.
I don't get how you're gonna.
Hey, stop that there! I can't lie. I've been in situations here when I'm being GTS or something. I'm seeing someone look at me. I know they can help. They're just there, just.
Yeah.
No, I agree with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And I'm like,
No, no,
I'm
no,
looking
no.
at them. I'm looking at them. I'm like,
I don't blame
No, I
them.
are you alright?
I don't blame them.
Do you know? You could even just say, "Oi," and so it will change something.
Bro,
No,
No,
shake my hand,
oi.
shake my hand.
No,
shake my
no,
hand.
that's
It can help.
No, no,
fair
no,
enough,
Oi,
fair enough.
even Oi is gonna be like, wow, like someone's watching. Let me not do
Well,
something
Well,
stupid.
even those pranks we see on YouTube, yeah, of like a fake
And
fight.
they come in and they
and we
help.
see some videos just like, just watching. All of us roast them in the comments. Like,
Like,
how
oh,
was he
then
watching?
how is he
Why
watching?
didn't you do this?
Yeah,
How
I
can you
can't
watch
do
them
that,
do
No,
that?
I can't. After you said that, because what? No, I can't even lie. When I got G checks and I saw a guy walk past me, yeah,
Come on.
I looked at him. I was like,
See, mums
"Are you not gonna back me?
Like, say
Can you
mum.
not see what's going on? You're not gonna back me."
Like saying mum.
for me personally,
No,
I
it
think
hurts,
that,
still,
I
it
think
hurts.
them
It's black as
situations
well.
are different, but still, I can kind of agree with you on that. It's just with the example that we're using in terms of a fight.
Yeah, fight.
I think there's too many what
Not a
ifs.
fight, a beating up.
A beaten up. Yeah, I think there's too many what ifs for someone's life.
Yeah.
This is your life. You can't be going on what
There's a
ifs.
lot of what ifs,
That's
bro.
their
You
life
can't
too.
be, yeah, I know. But if you know that like you can help but not get yourself injured, because by you getting injured, you're unable to help. That's what I'm trying
I
to
think
say.
far more than injury. It might not be injured. He could have something inside. He might be banging
Exactly.
him, but doesn't mean. he
And that's
got
what I'm
something
saying,
on him.
there's too many
You
what
could get
ifs.
involved now. He's thinking 2v1, backs it out, jukes one person. It just makes the whole thing a
There's
mess.
too
after
many.
that.
I think it's too many.
Like
what
there's
ifs
just
for
so
one
many
person's
things.
life.
And not even just that. It's also like.
Yeah.
Really and truly, all you want to do is help the guy who's being beaten up, regardless.
You're
of
not
the reason why
thinking
he's
I'm gonna
being
go in
I
beaten
don't
there
up.
do a
and
lot of things on impulse.
You know
I
what?
think
No,
far
I
more.
know, I know, but
You know I'm not
I'm
gonna
not
go in there and
impulse
start
kind of
throwing
guy.
bangs, bro. I'm not gonna go in there and be like, "Hey, fam, you done?" No, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, like, allow it." I'm just pull. If he dashes me or bangs me, then
I
he's
was
gonna know I'm
thinking
not violent.
you're gonna go in and
If
try
he
and, like,
bangs
beat him up, to
me,
be fair.
if he bangs me, for example, I'm not then gonna be like, "Oh, you done?" I'm gonna be like, "Bro, I'm just trying to stop it." And then
Okay, I get- I
straight
guess
away,
you
as
get
soon as
the
he's
approach.
banging, I've said that he's thinking,
Yeah.
"Oh, right, he's gonna calm down
I get
even
the
a
approach. I
tiny
get the
bit."
approach.
Yeah,
It's
no,
gonna help.
But it is what it
It
is.
depends on
like,
how you do it.
It's about if you go in there and
If you go in there trying to
you're
shoot
already
for him,
you're already a
it's
bit
wrong.
mad,
Yeah,
and he
it's
bangs
wrong.
you, and now you're mad, and now you're beefing this one. There's two
Yeah,
guys.
that's
of
what I
course
was
you're
thinking in
gonna get
general.
I
If you come in a
think
violence,
it's not black and white. You just
not
have to
black and
discern
white,
the
it's not
situation.
black and white.
The
Fair
levels
enough,
of
fair enough,
anger, the amount of people, all that
enough.
stuff comes into play.
But we do have to follow the rules of the street because either you're against them. Back to what you were saying.
Yeah. Like there's a reason you you actually have to be streetwise and street smart.
Yeah.
But I do. What you said made perfect sense. But
And it's convicting.
yeah, what?
It's mad convicting.
Like, it made me think about it twice. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
No,
It
cause
is.
I don't want to go back onto the topic in it, but
Yeah, don't.
yeah.
No, but
It's just complicated, man. I don't know.
But then, are we really back to like how we are? Like we're meant to be Christians, isn't it?
Okay.
If we can look at someone being beaten up, are we being good Christians?
Huh?
If we can watch someone get stabbed and not say anything, are we?
It's a banging question.
Are we sticking to our faith?
No, but that's
I know that's what you're saying, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
agreeing
it's
with
a
you.
banging
That's why I
question.
felt convicted because
Yeah.
I'm like, if I saw you get stabbed, I said nothing. I'm kind of not sticking to my
It's a banging
faith.
question.
But then there's the conflict of faith, and you're trying to use wisdom
Which one?
It's genuinely we're told to be the good
Bro,
Samaritan.
yeah.
Why are you acting like all the other guys, the Pharisees, and all that walk past him?
We're wise as well, though.
Especially being
Don't be
sacrifice.
foolish and just,
Yeah.
put yourself in a situation. But I get the Christianity part of it. But
But which
Again,
one do
you
you
have to
rate higher?
understand the situation,
In that
though,
situation,
like-
which one do you rate higher? Your Christianity or wisdom or street smart?
But in terms of Christianity, how you saying it? Christianity in the sense
In
of you
terms
see
of-
someone getting beat up as a Christian, you're meant to get involved.
Yeah, but you apply
For
the
example,
faith
using
with
snitching,
wisdom.
using snitching as an example.
Yeah.
The snitching is not meant to be a bad thing. Like even saying that, I feel bad. It's not meant to be a bad. It's
Right.
a good.
It's a dirty word now.
It's a good thing to help someone out. If you're actually a witness or
It's
someone's
just
thing,
helping.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, change the whole bit.
Are you willing? Like right now, I can say with my whole chest, I'm not willing. If someone was getting beaten up, I can't. I'm not willing to call the police and be like, yeah, that
Yeah,
guy
but how you
done
call
it.
the police?
I know him. I know his face. I know he look like. I'm willing to be a witness. I'm not willing to do that, and that's me honestly.
I think,
witness, to be a witness.
Yeah, to be a witness.
Elliot said it before, which I agree. He said he would get someone else to call the police. I'd probably do that. Get someone else to call the police. Let them speak to the police. Me, depending on the situation. Okay, if it's one of my, now it sounds biased, but I'm being real. If it's one of my boys, I don't think I can snitch on any of my friends. I don't think I can snitch on any of my boys. But if it's a stranger, then
Yeah, I can't
I
switch my
ain't
boys.
too
Even though
fast.
it's a Christian,
You're
you need to be good.
I'm more
I can't
afraid
switch on anyone.
I'm more afraid of
Fuck.
snitching on a stranger. I'm not saying I would rather do it. I'm more afraid of snitching on a stranger because I don't know what they're
So you're
capable of.
always snitch on someone you know.
No, I wouldn't want to do any, but if I had to rather, yeah, I would because I don't know what that stranger's capable of.
I hear that.
I don't know what they're capable
I
of.
don't feel like
So my
you
friend-
know what anyone's capable of until you
That's
put them in
very
a
true.
situation.
It's
true.
But I know at
Different, man.
least a stranger. At least I can try and predict. I can try and think of different ways of how I can save myself with a friend, which I wouldn't do. But a complete stranger, they could murder my family.
I just
They
don't
could-
put
they
myself
could kill
in
my
any
family.
situation
So
where I even have to.
They
snitch on
could.
them.
But it's unlikely.
It's more likely.
They know who you are.
They're
They know
gonna
you,
drop
bro.
on you,
The
bro.
betrayal,
They
the betrayal
can
is mad.
find
The
you,
betrayal is
No,
mad.
I would not do either.
After that, you're not my G.
But you lot,
Yeah,
you
no,
lot-
no, 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 no,
you
no.
guys are saying betrayal, right? But does it not come back to the thing of Christianity?
Yeah,
right?
because it's not betrayal. You're doing the right thing.
If you know someone is a thief, if you know someone is a murderer, if you know someone's a rapist or whatever,
That one, the last one,
you're-
yeah, I'm snitching.
But technically, why don't you snitch at everyone that's been banging fraud that you know?
What?
that's true. That's true.
How many people banging air, bro?
I like
That we all know, fam.
I like
So
They
should,
don't even
should
bring
you
you
not be
in.
questioning? Should you not
They
be
don't even
questioning
bring
what
you
type
in,
of
fam.
people you're around?
Wait,
then?
no, man.
They don't even wash
We're
you, bro.
talking about knives. We're talking about knives.
Let's bring it to knife.
I'm
Nah,
just saying,
nah,
innit?
nah, nah,
I'm
nah.
just
No,
saying, a
because
crime
do
is
you
a
know why
crime,
this-
bro.
Do you know why this relates? Because I talked about morals before.
Okay.
I talked about
The
morals.
crime is
Your
a
point,
crime,
your
fam.
point is good. It is good.
So
If you're saying, oh, I want to have friends, then you should be questioning
I
what
can't
those
lie.
type of friends
Why
are.
do we have those friends?
Why do you
Why
have
do
friends
you have
if they
these
don't even?
friends?
They just make their money. They don't even bring you in. So it's like it's not really.
Wait,
like
I'm not
you're
buying
them,
that.
bro. I'm not involved.
It
They're
is.
just there doing it.
I think it's a good thing that we have it, but I think we're taught to have too much loyalty, fam. We're in
That's
school.
what I'm saying.
We're in school with a youth, and now we're betrothed to them forever. We have to ride or die. We cannot ever,
Bro,
just like we're in school with you.
people
That's
are
why I did
people
just
are
not get involved,
suffering, and we're keeping our mouths quiet. It's not even a thing of
Crazy, innit? It's crazy.
see no evil, do no evil. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing it, and we're not doing anything about it.
I
Like
think
now,
you
I
do
can,
that,
like now I can say like certain things I'd see like abuse of girls and stuff like that. I would want to snitch down, but
No, but even then, like,
The past.
that I feel like
it's bad.
you can't
It's
be.
bad.
I don't think you can be weighing one thing over another.
But
like.
the thing is, I'm more of a person to
I
actually
do.
speak to the friend and try to get them to stop.
100%.
Then snitch.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking because when you were at first,
Yeah, I would probably
I'll speak to
do
the
that.
friend.
Yeah.
I don't know how right that is, though.
I'll speak to the friend.
But if that's
what
my
if they-
daughter, I don't want cover. I want you in jail or dead.
I do want you in jail. I want you in jail. I want
Wait,
you in
for
jail.
what? Oh, I think it's my fraud. I'm about And now, fair enough. Yeah, for that.
I want you in
When
jail.
hear
I
about things
want
like
you in
that,
jail.
fam,
Even
I
it's
even
so
talk
hard
about that.
to
I
snitch
like
in
doing
general.
general.
But no,
Even
okay,
in
no,
jail,
when it
any
comes-
crime.
When it
any
comes to
crime.
that, yeah, when it comes to
In
to
jail.
the- to the
I
big-
would
to
snitch.
the
I
big
I don't even
bar,
go to jail.
I
I
can't lie,
think
that
jail
one-
don't do nothing.
I would snitch.
If-
I don't
if-
even bother feeling like people should go to jail because I don't
if
feel
my
the point of
bro
jail.
actually, if my bro actually did that, like, and
I
it
would-
was
I would have to
proven,
say-
and he
Yeah.
admitted it to me, I can't lie. The friendship's done at that point.
No, but I can't like that's not. It's still not good, bro. You're just disconnecting from something you
No,
still
no, no.
know.
But we
I'm
can
not
do
saying.
about it.
I'm not saying it's
Now,
just
what can you
done.
do
Like,
about
if a witness, if
I would
I
go
really needed a
9-1-1.
witness,
I would be nah.
I would be
it is
very
that.
close to wanting to snitch, and that's just me being real. Because that's Stop, but the thing is, as Joe said, why am I seeing it differently from taking someone's life?
What?
Literally.
And I don't know why I see it differently, but I do.
Because taking life is becoming.
I feel like
it's almost like that.
you haven't taken their life, but you've taken their life. You have not killed them, but you've killed them.
Yeah, it's more like suffering.
You have put that person in a long season of
That's
suffering.
that's
We
something.
do.
And do you know why I was when you were talking about the sun thing, right?
Yeah.
That's why I don't normally like to do those type of examples. Because say for people that don't, say in terms of like a rape, right?
Yeah.
You hear men be like, you know, what did the girl do, blah blah blah. And you see people be like, what if it was your sister, your mum? Some people don't have sisters or mums.
Yeah.
So then with that example that you're using, that means that person can be void of empathy.
True.
Whereas it shouldn't be a thing of if it's someone that you know,
Just-
or if it's
it's
someone
bad
that's
in general,
related.
it's just bad.
It's about your morals. If it's just someone in general being a victim, becoming a victim of any crime, what are you going to do about it, whether you know them or not?
That's why it's starting to change for me a bit.
Yeah.
Before it was like, if it's my brother, I would do something. If it's a friend, I would do.
Yeah.
But now it's all like,
No, but I can't
I just
lie.
see myself in them, and I wouldn't want to.
I can't lie. Even that is true, but I think it's only applicable for certain things. Same way, if I saw someone getting stabbed, for example, like a stranger, can't lie, I'm not involved. If it's my boy, I'm front line.
Yeah.
Even though the moral of someone getting
Technically still the
stabbed is
same,
a
innit?
bad thing, I still have emotional attachment. So I can't just disregard
You
that.
can't just
and
detach
act
your
like-
emotional attachment.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the same things if.
Yeah, it's never gonna be like that. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
You're never
but
gonna
that,
think of it
that
the
doesn't
same
mean
way.
that your morals aren't.
It doesn't mean you're
partially
bad.
skewed.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
saying
just
it
life,
makes you
innit?
bad.
It's just life, bro.
It's
I'm
just
not
like
saying-
it's a bit.
You're not gonna
Yeah,
equally
yeah,
weigh
yeah.
the way if you sign to your parents, for example, to a stranger. It's never
Yeah.
gonna be the
The
same.
same,
It's
yeah.
just not never gonna be so.
But then that takes adjustment from us though,
It does.
because we can argue that it shouldn't be the same way. Arguably, it should from what we
It
believe
should,
in. From what
obviously,
we
people
believe
believe
in.
it, it should
That's
be,
not
bro.
applicable for everyone. Not everyone believes in God.
Mm.
But from what we believe in, we should get to a point where it is the same.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. It's not just gonna happen overnight.
Okay, cool. So let me bring a hypothetical then. Cool. Let's say extreme. Your bro stabbed someone. You weren't there, but you know everything about the situation, every single detail because you were told.
I'm not snitching.
What are you doing?
I'm
I
not saying
can't lie, I've
nothing.
been there.
I'm saying
And I've
nothing.
done, bro.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay,
Listen, but
okay. Let's. I want to decide. Let's the should and would. Should you snitch and would you snitch?
As a Christian,
You should.
you should.
Would
Would you?
I know how you feel.
I would.
I know how you feel.
But that's the first.
I'm not,
You
I'm
should.
not.
Would I? No, I wouldn't.
So-
Would? I can't lie. I don't think I will. Unless.
And let's go to the cop out.
Wait.
The cop out.
Okay, I get that, but let's be
Let's be 100%.
We are affiliated with a murderer, with a criminal.
Yes.
This is a menace to society.
I can't like. Do you want me to give you the honest answer? Honest.
Wow.
It's honest.
No, I know it sounds so
It sounds
bad.
so
I would. I in my heart, I actually want to.
I
say,
want you, but
Oh, kind of, I'm taking you to the
you
jail.
have to go to prison. You have to go. But it's
I
like-
can't. I actually can't.
Okay, now this is. So how can, with that mindset, with those mindsets, right? Because I know it's not just us.
No, it's not just.
How can we then, like, look at knife crime and be like, oh, it's bad, oh, it's this and blah blah. Because
When we're
we're indirectly,
partially to-
yeah, we're
fault.
partially to blame. We're indirectly
We've
in
allowed
there.
ourselves to be corrupted.
Well, you've been indoctrinated.
We've become, maybe not you, when I say we, I'm talking about a grand scale.
Yeah, yeah,
We've
yeah,
become
yeah.
a part of the system that we hate so much. By we've become it, we're a part of the cycle. If you do not snitch on someone that you know has done something, they have license to do it again.
Yeah.
And that person who is
Yeah.
impacted, they now have a friend that's attached who now has license to want to do that as well. But because we did not say in the first place, we're a part of the same
But then
system.
again,
that we
even
hate.
if we do snitch, someone find a way to do it. In
It's
a
like
way
a
where
cycle.
you would.
But then,
It's a circle.
this is even something that I want to speak about. I think the way we react to like even this hypothetical is part of the effects of knife crime. It affects you when you've grown up in such an area in such a way. Like, look at us. None of us would want to snitch on our bros even if they were guilty, fully guilty. And that's. Oh.
I was saying.
so
I was saying.
No, I rate it.
I don't think so.
You don't think?
You actually
Wait,
would.
let me be real. Because if I went outside now,
I'm saying good.
Well, I could.
dick someone.
Joe, I can name drop to you right now. and you're not doing anything.
I'm telling you, if you were to go out and I'm snitching on you.
No, but in this sense,
I wouldn't put it to the test.
not
I'm
like
not a murderer.
the feds got you and said,
I don't think you would.
what happened? What you're gonna go out of your way?
That's
to snitch.
That's even
what I'm
more.
saying,
That's
it's two different
say
situations.
someone comes for help, right? Say someone's seeking for help, a family member of that person that's just died, right? Say they want help, someone that's witnessing. I personally don't think I can sit down within myself and be like, nothing happened. And then the police call me in and I'm lying to the police and telling them, oh, I wasn't there, I didn't witness anything, no comment.
But I'm saying, no one knows you're a witness. Would you still snitch?
Would you go forward?
That's literally like, would you go out of your way to snitch?
Would you not? It's not. Would you, if you were presented with the opportunity to snitch, would you go out of your way to snitch? Basically.
Okay.
Because I think out of my way, I don't know. If they come to me, the percentages change.
No comment on the interview.
I can't say anything.
No comment.
I don't know.
Joe!
Never been
In the summer, we're gonna be kicking balls with murderers, with people that have killed, people that have stolen, people that do fraud, people that trap. I'm gonna continue playing football with them. You understand? Bro,
That's truthful, I get,
it's
wow.
bro.
You're gonna be just snitching on every single one and then thinking,
that one there
jail
he sells
today,
drugs.
Because I'm talking, do you know the reason is, because with his example compared to yours, right? I know the guy. I know that he's done it.
Okay.
I know that others is rumours.
Wait. What if he went to you and was like, I know for a fact he murdered someone, you snitching. So say that PS4 was you, say his name was
Tom
Javal.
Okay.
First, I question why he didn't do it.
Because you're saying, if he is a murderer and Elliot is giving you 100% confirmation, he is a murderer. He can even give you evidence. He can show you.
Would you use a knife?
You snitching.
Okay.
Video, knife,
Everything.
No, okay,
The guy even comes to
I know
the
it's, it's harder to do than to say in it. Because I'll also bring into other factors like the safety of my family and stuff like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Think about
That's
it.
the thing.
There's repercussions, bro.
The thing about snitching, because I was watching a podcast,
I don't ever believe.
and this guy, he snitched. He was selling drugs online, like on the dark web, and he snitched on a guy. And he said that there are bare people in the world who be like, no, I won't snitch, but when they get into the situation, it's different.
Yeah.
Now, his situation, if he didn't snitch, he was looking at double-figure years in prison. So that's why he snitched. In that situation, let me not lie, good chance I'm going to snitch. But
snitching.
being myself, where I get no repercussions for snitching, nor I get repercussions for not snitching.
I'm not snitching.
But how do you know you're not gonna get repercussions, though?
No, he said if it's that.
Just a witness.
Because you don't want your decision to be based on the potential outcome. Just them, or, like, in isolation, what would you rather do? Can't lie, I'm not snitching, bro.
Okay, if I'm coming from a Christianity,
We don't know the Christianity.
No, that's what we are Christians.
Yeah.
This is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me learn. Like, if that's the case, by me snitching, I have the belief that God's going to protect me, especially after I've done the right thing.
I hear that.
Are you doubting?
I hear that one.
Are you doubting?
I hear that.
Let's be honest. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. If you do not have that faith, you're not going to get protected. Full stop.
Yeah.
If I do not believe if I snitch, I'm going to be protected by God. I will not, and I will die.
Can't lie with everything around me.
But if you have that
After I
faith,
snitch, yeah,
I'm not going to be sane. I'm going to be always.
every youth I see, but look at them twice. Anything I remember at the moment, that alone, my faith is going down and down and down, bro. It's inevitable. That
And one thing I know is that,
You're
don't
gonna
do
get
what
shook.
God doesn't send you to do. Like, bro, cool, obviously snitching is the good thing, but if God didn't send you and you don't get protected,
If
it's long.
if
God doesn't ask
there's
you
gonna be justice,
it's long.
God will provide.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's your calling. Stay in your office. Stay in your office.
To back Joe, that's a cop out. That is a 100% a cop out. That's like, oh, God didn't tell me to do the right thing, so I'm not gonna do it. He that knows to do good and do it for not is a sin added onto him. If you know to do good and you don't do it, it's a sin.
all of these spiritual.
Just say, stay in your lane, which I agree with. So I'm even contradicting myself.
Spirit of discernment, bro. Ask God first. That's
Discernment and do it the right
cool. If I know,
Discernment is necessary, but good is good. Good is good. Full stop. Good is good.
Especially in
There's stupid
Christianity,
good,
bro.
because it's more solid.
you can see a
I get it,
possessed
I get it.
person and know the best way to do is to go and pray to be delivered now. If God hasn't sent you
Send
there,
you-
don't
it's long-
go.
Exactly.
Is that
Don't say
It's a
good
good
is
rebuttal.
good.
It's a good rebuttal.
Because
It's a good
you don't.
rebuttal.
First of all, you don't know what they've done.
Yep.
You don't know what
You
they're
don't
like.
know if this is even God's wrath for them to even be
Like
killed
what
in
happened
that
with
way.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Bro,
You don't
it's
know.
possible.
Then you wanna go there and be good.
You
And
don't
now,
know.
now you're going against God.
Exactly.
God have now slaughtered someone. Now you're beefing God.
Yeah, God is telling you he didn't send you.
If
So
you
now
got
that's
stabbed,
doing Wahala,
if
fam.
you got stabbed, how is that the same?
If what?
That can't correlate with a youth being stabbed.
What?
Yeah.
A man being possessed with a demon. How can you correlate that?
Look,
No,
it's
that's not comparison.
It's the theory, innit?
Yeah.
They're both bad situations.
Not saying like
that you're a
boys
witness
trying
and
to-
you could.
I'm saying
What
the
should you aid?
men's ray behind it in regards to acting on something without full knowledge and the repercussions of that act. So although you're saying like if you know what's good, then act on it.
Yeah.
I know the good thing will help this. Well,
So
so don't want to see anyone
Yeah,
like
true.
possessed.
But then
but-
with this then, so say God came to you, he came down, Jesus floated from the sky.
Yeah.
He came down to you and said, that boy
Hey,
that
snitch
you've
on
been
your bro.
friends with for 10 years,
Yeah.
he has gone and stabbed someone. It is your calling to go and tell Metropolitan Scotland Yard. I want you to be there 10:30 when they're opening. Scotland Yard, Elliot Darker.
Are you
shall
doing
be there. Are you going to do it?
I would. In that
Otherwise, your
situation,
mouth
as
shall
well.
run like.
For God to ever come to you, bro. For God to ever come to you to directly tell you something, if you don't do it, it's long. It's long if you don't.
So what are you doing?
You literally said it before. Obedience is better than sacrifice. You're doing.
Yeah, he knows.
God's wrath, I'd rather man's wrath. I'm okay.
It's
I'm okay.
long,
Whatever they can do.
It's true. Why are we fearing snitching? We
Get
should not
back to
fear
it.
what man can do unto us.
Yeah, you should.
We should.
He should. He should.
Man, when it
He
gets to
should.
scripture.
He should. He should. I feel what Twitter can do to me. So what? Let alone man. Twitter what? It's a blue app. It's social media. I don't know.
I think it's more you should fear more what God can do to you more than man. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you don't fear what man
Yeah.
can do.
No,
to
the
you.
Bible says
Because man
don't fear
can
what
still
man
do a
should do. What man
madness,
can do unto you. David says it like 3 times in Psalms.
I'm not saying that God's wrath isn't more powerful than man's.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying we shouldn't fear
I know
what man
man,
can
every
do
man
unto
is a spirit, so not necessarily the flesh you're afraid of. It's what that spirit can lead the flesh to go and lead towards you.
Even at that, don't fear those that can just kill the flesh. You fear those who can destroy both the flesh and the
enough.
soul.
No, it's
That's
true.
God.
It's true,
Okay.
but you have to
No.
balance them.
Wait, no. Snitch on Jay Trappy. Snitch on him. Whoever he is. Snitch. Don't snitch.
Where's your scriptures now?
Whatever you have seen. No.
Just
Whatever
now.
you have seen. Snitch.
Wait. I didn't say the scriptures. I didn't say I was there.
Explain it, but you're not living by it.
I will live by you one day. One day. Let me get there.
But then that's the problem with
I'm
us.
still growing, literally.
It's always one day. Tomorrow. Not today.
Yeah.
That's
Tomorrow
what
is
we
not
do.
promised. Tomorrow is not
We'll
promised.
have kids and we'll be also telling them tomorrow. Never, ever.
Next thing, tomorrow comes and you're not here anymore.
Yeah, word.
Okay, so I think this conversation has been pretty long.
Yeah.
But before we end up, I want to ask one thing from everyone. After the conversation that we've had, and I feel like we've realised stuff that we may have not thought of before.
Don't ask.
What do you think you could do or begin to do
Oh, okay.
to try and combat
I mean,
this type of life that we've been brought up in, or we've been exposed to?
I don't know. I mean,
I'll go first.
I have a lot of
I don't
opinions
know.
about this, but you can go.
Well, something that's actually that you can do.
Yeah.
Let's say this. Let's say this.
Cool. For me personally, I think where things go wrong with me is, although I may know people that do these kind of things, yeah, I completely turn a blind eye to the point where I don't even talk to them. Like, there's enough to talk. Like, I don't even know you've done it. That's how I see it.
lost
Like,
you need to be.
yeah, like just I don't know.
Just to be
Because I don't want my parents to know that I know someone like that, you know what I'm saying? So moving forward, maybe I can begin to have those uncomfortable conversations in regards to, not, I want to say helping them move forward, but at least allowing them to understand that what they're doing is wrong. And so, someone they probably know, but hearing it from someone close to home might hit different, you know what I'm saying? So having those kind of conversations, maybe threatening to snitch, no, I'm joking, but allowing them that other people may do that and what can happen after they do that, those kind of things. That's
So
a
you don't want to tell them
change
that
I
someone
made.
else might snitch, because
Yeah,
then what if they
then
go and pack that person in just because you said so?
That's true.
I
I
think
won't
they
put a
don't
name on
do
it. I
that.
won't put a name on it. I'll just say someone could do this.
Then they start threatening you, saying, "Who is it?"
It's because my boy, you won't threaten me.
They start
Some
thinking.
men are different.
But now I hear that true. That's kind of the
agree.
best thing you can do. There's barely any straight answer you can give to that will solve the problem.
No, but I think there's stuff that you can do. Obviously, fix your room before you fix the world, innit? Like try and fix what
Also around you.
Yeah, what you can influence first before you try and do everything else. So for me, I'd probably say I'd question my morals because it's easier to say something than to do it. And I think as Christians, if we want to live like Christ did, right, we'd have to have like a certain level of love, not just to those around us, but to everyone, as God's creations and stuff like that. So it should get to a point where it's not just if it happened to my son, but if it happened to this person, like I'd still stand by my morals. There's things that I'll die by, like morals that I die by, and I think that's where it can begin for me.
I think setting the right example, like you being an example. So say you have people who believe in, fraud and all of this lifestyle. For obviously everyone wants to make money. If you and being close to them can make money legit, I'm telling you, they'll see things differently.
No, that's true.
100%. They'll actually want to know, like, Raw, how did you do it?
Trading still.
100%. They'll be like, Raw, how did you do it? And people start asking you,
And then they stop.
cool, well on. Then you can kind of help them and kind of move them away from that kind of life. Because fraud leads to crime and more crimes and more crime.
The fraud is like, it can
making
start
money
with small
causes so
bank
much
one and
issues,
then
man.
go to the big boy fraud.
That's one thing you can do.
I think mine would probably be being a role model, like trying to be a significant one. Like, since there are so many rappers that are up there rapping about their life that they used to live that inspire people to live that life, and there are so many this and that inspire people to go bad. I'd want to be one of those people who grow up, are successful, and then begin to inspire people to like become good. Especially when you hear that, okay, I'm from the same place as you. I want to be one of those that you can look up to, be like, oh, rah, he came from the same place as me. Look at him. He's a multi this, he's a multi that. Yeah, literally. People look at
How?
Stones was like from like nowhere.
Yeah.
Because that's more so long term.
It is long term. It is long term.
No cap, yeah.
No, but even with
Mine's
that,
not even
I hear that, but like, does that mean you're gonna do like workshops in the end? You're gonna go to like primary and secondary schools, tell them
Yeah,
your
you're gonna have to be
journey.
some live stream.
You're gonna
You
write
can't just be
blogs.
saying,
Like, what are you gonna do? Like, it's good to like, it's a good idea, but practically,
I guess I try to make my presence known, especially when I am up. I
And
try to make my presence known in the community more.
yeah.
In terms of, I actually would, like, I've actually, them scenarios that you go through in your head. Like, I've always imagined me going back to like a secondary school, my old secondary school, and speaking to them about, man's here now. He used to do this, he used to do that. So, I would actually like to go back to a school and speak to the students there, go back to these places and speak to people there, to let them know that there are other ways. It's not trap, music, or football. There's so many other ventures you can go through. Go to.
remember?
Yeah.
For me, like, I'll be real, I do agree with like the role model. That's the way I see it, but I'd rather show them the process
Fair.
of how I got there. And that's even what's happening now. I'm definitely nowhere near perfect.
Only to
But-
people close to you, though.
But people that I've grown up with from secondary school,
Yeah, those are the
they'll
process.
message me and be like, Ramo, you've changed so much. Like, I'm proud of the person that you're
those are the
becoming.
process.
I haven't become yet, but they see that I'm becoming something. They're saying, right, if we became, the example, stuck in mud. If we were all stuck in the same mud, if he can branch out and he hasn't done anything mad, like he didn't get lucky with trading and become some intelligent guy, but he just lived life normally and he can still become something, then maybe it's possible, and that can inspire people
No, it's true. It's true.
to be different. Because they're like, bro, I see you, we were the same. Actually, you were like me, but we're no longer alike and you're something different. I think that's much more impactful than just like one day, oh, I'm here by the way, guys.
Yeah,
No, the difference there
that's
is that
happening
it's not like I was the baddest youth that I can really start relating to all of these bad youths. So that's why I prefer to.
I think
when
just
I'm up.
quickly, I think why yours is such a good example is because it's more relatable
Yeah.
to people that come from you. Like, it's not just someone that's got a lucky break or accidentally put money in Bitcoin or something.
That's what I'm saying. You had to.
Accidentally, it wasn't
you
accident.
No, when they say
Some
actually,
people
it's just
actually
like
do it,
you're just like, oh, Bitcoin, let me just,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
now
yeah.
you're a million.
Yeah.
I've got that from. I've got that. I mean, I've already said, but I've got that from people who, like, people from school already. Like, obviously, I always just think back to every single person I went to school with, because that's kind of the people you can relate to. It's like, cool,
100%.
this person, look at what he's doing now. This person, look at what he's doing now. But then I also get some people approach me. Like, it's good when you see random people you ain't seen in years. They approach you, they're like, oh,
They
Rob,
do so
I see
well.
you're doing this, you're doing this. And I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever.
You feel good.
They're doing their own thing as well. It's like, cool. You kind of see everyone branch out in certain ways, but I guess the best thing you can do for people who know you is what you suggested. But what about for people who don't, like just random people living
Great
their
paths,
life,
like what Elliot suggested,
music and all of this.
like like blogs and stuff like that, I can't lie, to go on the internet and to type a couple things, it's not that hard. Like just social media in general. Like you can easily, I could, for example, say if we become these millionaires, I could easily fund a little something that can help people in my community to be different, to grow, because most of the time, people, because we all played outside in the same streets when we were young, but the difference between us and them is that we were taught to come home. Most people didn't have something to go home to, so if we give them a club that they can go to, they can just bake and play PS5 or maybe 7 at that time. They're gonna go and enjoy that rather than just being out.
That's what a lot of people like on violence actually say. I mean, I don't get it, but they always say, "Oh, why can't the government make youth clubs?"
Because they had nothing to do. Most of them got into it because of boredom.
I can't even lie. I've been to a couple youth clubs. It was fun. I always played Just Dance for hours.
I had it called Ice Cube back in my school. It was so live.
I don't really go to it.
No, but even as people were saying, I began to deep like what you said about showing the process. It works, you know, because I remember I was speaking to 2 of my friends, and they both said to me, "I can't lie, you know, you inspired me. Like I think you're someone that like has inspired me in a way." And I said, "Rah, really me?" And when I look at it now, I'm like, "Rah, okay, that is very, very good." And that's me when I haven't even changed too much, or maybe I have, but I don't see it myself.
It's kind of
so yeah, showing the full process.
I mean, for someone like me, it's hard to show process just because obviously I'm like the biggest introvert ever in basically this world. So obviously the best way I'm trying to do so, and based on how my character is just by results on YouTube. So YouTube is the best way I'm trying to get at people.
You're showing your YouTube. Your YouTube is your
in terms of socials. I don't understand it. I don't know how people can even make reels without like just being. It's just weird to me. So obviously YouTube is the best way I can kind of show people and help people, and that is kind of the whole point. Yeah. So that's just my way,
But I think it's very effective. Yeah, because say people knew you for being some angry guy. I'm not saying you ever were angry. I didn't know like that. But say people knew you for being an angry guy. Now they're seeing you're so professional. You're advising people.
Yeah. A lot of people have seen.
Oh, this is so tough, bro. He's changing, and you're not there. That's still process.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's a good place to.
That's a right
complete.
Yeah. So get interactive. Tell us stories that you may have experienced. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and
Do you know what? If you got to this part of the video, down in the comments below, just put anyone got a little sound.
I want you to tell me if you're snitching.
This part of the video.
Like, tell me if you're snitching.
Yeah, just say.
You're snitching. If your friend killed someone, you snitching.
That's a very good thing. Yeah, like.
If you got this far, if your friends in the comments, tell us. Are you snitching? Like, you can even name drop.
Name yourself.
That's a PC Grayson.
That's a wrap.
Word. Thank you for watching.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Check out the Instagram, and we'll see you in the next one.
If Jesus tarries, snitches get stitches.